Nerdigans. This is the one and only Packer Girl 89. Today's Manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Detective Conan chapter 1050. So, last chapter, man, was insane. So we saw how Mary was poisoned by the Black organization, and it really got me thinking that some point down the road that we're going to have not only the Akai family reunion, but Haibara's going to be reunited with her sister, and that's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait to see how Ayama is going to execute this, but something I thought about right before I started recording this live reaction is, when is this going to happen? My guess is it's going to probably happen, like, maybe right before we take down the Black organization, or like at least raid the Black organization. That's my best guess. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we're getting to the case resolution, and man, speaking of this case is very interesting because our victim here, it's come up that this mofo poisoned himself. Like, what? Anyway, let's get to this chapter and see how this case is going to be resolved. So this chapter is titled Apprentice and Wizard. The culmination of the poisoning case at a model's party. The truth surrounding the poison and the speculation surrounding the drug. Wait, what? Surrounding... What? Oh man, this chapter's gonna be interesting. So the decisive point of this murder case is in the end... that the culprit made Hanasaki Mizutsushi-san eat the poison cake, and after the latter had collapsed on the floor, used an oil marker to write divine retribution on his forehead. The party's poisoning incident reaches its conclusion, and the only people who were in a position to do that are the four of you who were at the party. The model and star of the party, Sekizawa Remi-san, her sister Sekizawa Yumi-san, Remi-san's manager Kushiyama-san, and Hatsune Suka-san, the pastier who sliced and distributed the cake to the customers. And only two of you, Yumi-san and Kushiyama-san, were in possession of a marker. Kushiyama-san's marker couldn't be used as the cap had come loose. Yumi-san was carrying a functional marker, but her seed was too far away to sprinkle poison onto the cake. Then we found that the marker had been thrown into the kitchen trash can, despite still being functional. And the only one who knew the position of said trash can is you, Hatsune-san. The way I see it, you who served the victim his cake slice, made him eat the poison cake, then turned the place pitch black and wrote that phrase onto his head before feeling your way to the kitchen to throw away the marker. Afterwards, you nonchalantly returned to the party. Isn't that right? You're wrong. I think you're mistaken. I think about it carefully. The kitchen is full of cooks holding knives, right? If it were me, no matter how much I knew my way around the kitchen, I wouldn't venture into such a dangerous place in the dark. Conan does have a point, but if it wasn't Hatsune-san, it would mean that the culprit sprinkled the poison onto Hanasaki-san's cake right in front of him. Not quite. The culprit didn't sprinkle the poison onto Hanasaki-san's cake, but rather onto their own. What? But surely they would have then eaten the poison cake themselves. Sonoko-kun, did you buy them? Yep, two strawberry shortcakes. Then please line them up on the table. Okay. Basically, when the culprit stood up, they did this. You mean they tilted the strawberry decoration of the adjacent cake? And that caused Hanasaki-san to exchange his slice with the culprits. Oh, so that's what they meant! Because I was like, wait, what? Like, at the end of the chapter, end of last week's chapter, I was like, huh? Like, what the fuck was that supposed to be? How did he kill himself? How did he poison himself like that? I was so confused. But that makes more sense. But if he wasn't happy with it, why didn't he simply ask the staff for a new slice? Usually, that's how one would act, but Hanasaki-san could not do that. Because just the other day, he complained about how the fork and the knife weren't parallel on his table, and the knife he threw towards an employee ended up hitting a guest instead, forcing him to issue a public apology. He'd end up seeing needlessly complaining again because of a tilted strawberry of all things. Hold on a second. What are you doing, cat? Senna, what are you doing, Keys? My cat is being silly. Isn't that right? You who stood up. Isn't that right? You who stood up before touching your own cake, claiming you received a call. Remi-san's manager, Kishiyama Mitomo-san. What? The tilted strawberry on your slice of cake, which you supposedly haven't touched, is proof. No, I really did receive a call back then. Right, I received a phone call on my smartphone, didn't I? Yes, I heard it ringing. I bet it was because you dialed 111, right? There's this phone company which uses that phone for that number for a phone reception test service that immediately calls you back after a few seconds. So if you muted your speaker to prevent anyone from hearing the phone reception test will begin shortly message, it would be easy to escape detection. Calling that number when Hanasaki-san's share of the cake was brought to him, you could excuse yourself to attend to your phone call before Hanasaki-san ate the cake, having already sprinkled the poison onto your own slice of cake, of course, but what about the marker? The culprit wrote divine retribution on Hanasaki-san's forehead, didn't he? As you well know, the cap on the oil marker I have came loose, rendering it useless. How could I then? Did you buy your items as well, Rankan? Yeah, an oil marker and nail polish remover. I also left the marker's cap off for a while to render it non-functional. Thank you. An oil marker stops working when the dried ink hardens the tip, just like this. But if you pour some nail polish remover into the marker's cap, then push the non-functional marker into the cap and wait for a while, the acetone in the nail polish remover will cause the dried ink on the tip to dissolve. That's actually a good tip. That's good to know, actually, because that will actually save you some money. That's good to know. Thank you, Gosho, for that tip. Making it functional again. Then could it be that the black stain on the floor? He poured the remaining nail polish remover from the cap onto the floor, because after committing the crime, he had to again loosen the cap and render the marker functional. To sum up, he predicted that someone would ask Remi-san for her autograph during the party, making her use the non-functional marker, thus creating the impression that the marker in your possession is non-functional. Then, when it was time to enjoy the cake, you sprinkled the poison onto your own cake, threw the poison bottle under the table, and did as I explained earlier, making Hanasaki-san switch his own cake for the poison-laced one, thus bringing the poison into his own mouth of his own accord. Once he collapsed, you proceeded to pull the projector cord, turning the room pitch black. Then, using Hanasaki-san's luminescent glasses as a guide, you wrote that phrase on his forehead using the marker that you made functional again during the party. That's how it went down. You probably got him to wear those glasses by saying that Remi-san would like them, right? And as the manager, the seating arrangements fell within your purview, so it'd be easy for you to seat yourself beside Hanasaki-san. Incidentally, you used the opportunity of fetching Conan some water before the party started to throw a marker into the kitchen trash can. It'd be easy to justify going to the kitchen if you claim that you need to explain the food allergies of some unexpected guest. From this point on, it's all conjecture, but you assume that when Remi-san couldn't sign the autograph using her marker, she would borrow her sister's spare marker. Your plan was based on that assumption, was it not? You plotted it so that Remi-san, who'd be having a marker on her, would be the obvious suspect. You would proceed to defend her relentlessly, and when a marker was finally found in the kitchen, the suspicion on Remi-san would be lifted. However, Remi-san returned the marker to Yumi-kun, wrecking your plan in the progress. But why would Kushiyama-san do such a thing? To make Remi-san... What? To make Remi-san fall for him? Oh, man. Should have known. I suspect that Kushiyama-san was the one who stole her half-eaten snacks and drinks from her makeup room as well. What? He was likely seen doing so by Hanasaki-san, the hair and makeup stylist, and got blackmailed. If he didn't want to be exposed, he had to do things like making him Remi-san's exclusive hair and makeup stylist, inviting him to parties, and arranging for him to be seated next to her. Could it be that he also extorted money from you? Yeah, and the amount kept going up, making me feel I had no choice but to kill him. Out of the way, what? Conan, watch out. What? Yeah, Ran! Huh? Yeah! Phew. Conan, are you alright? Yeah. Case closed. Looks like it. Well, I'll be heading off then. Could it be that she... Yeah. Oh, that sneaky bitch. Yeah, I managed to get my hands on it just like you wanted. On the antidote that might be able to turn your body back to normal. Well done. With this, the hands of the clock that were stopped by those guys back then can finally start moving again. Well, too bad it's temporary. Why don't you come in first? You need to get out of those wet clothes. Oh, we're seeing the rest of the flashback. You're right. What's up with that cough? Did you catch a cold after falling into the river Thames? No, it's because I was forced to swallow that strange drug. It should be a side effect of the drug. Wimbledon, is it already that time of year again? Yeah, I recorded the match earlier today. That aside, what's the plan now? Go to the hospital? No. If those people expect the drug to have this effect, we should assume that they will be lying in wait there. But unless we get people to research how your body got shrunk like this and return you to your old body, you won't be able to contend with those scoundrels, will you? This body is more than enough. I won't lose to them, says the person who was just made to swallow a weird drug. Minerva. In any case, we'll have to figure out what that drug was. I'll help you. I'm Holmes' apprentice. Hey, that boy looks exactly like that kid we met at the beach long ago. The wizard who can make Shinny laugh. As I recall, his name was Kudo Shinichi. He said the same thing back then. Yeah, that he was Holmes' apprentice. I'm Kudo Shinichi. I'm Sherlock Holmes' apprentice. I just asked my colleagues from MI6 to look into it. Turns out there was a Kudo Shinichi on the plane's passenger list, but it was referring to a high schooler in his second year, same as you. Then did he take his younger brother with him to London? He doesn't actually have a younger brother, and his two companions weren't relatives of his. What's even stranger is that Kudo Shinichi is a high school detective who had been solving difficult cases in quick succession in Japan while we were gone. But this past half year, he suddenly ceased doing so. Instead, a younger boy has frequently been showing up at crime scenes. A boy looking just like this one here. Looking just like... Isn't this Kudo Shinichi himself? Yes, they know! Yes, chances are high that this boy has been shrunk by the same drug as me. And furthermore, that he has some means to return to his normal body when boarding a plane. If such an antidote really exists, we need to get close to the boy and get our hands on it using any means possible. That's right, and the antidote in question is now in my hand. Huh? Huh? The castle's gone! How come? Phew, so glad I decided to put the PTX 4869 antidote aside as a precaution. That sneaky motherfucker! Don't mess with the wizard! Come on, Conan-kun, let's go home. Come, or we'll leave you here. Wait for me. Oh, seems like your mouth ulcer is healed. You're right. Looks like solving mysteries really is the best medicine for detectives. That bastard! The name Wizard isn't just for show. Look forward to the movie as well. And the next dish is Zero's tea time. What? They know! I'm telling you, I said it at the start of this live reaction that it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before the reunion happens. It's a matter of fucking time. It's not even a matter of if. It's a matter of when it happens. And I'm surprised that they haven't thought of, I'm surprised Haibara hasn't been mentioned yet. I'm surprised Haibara hasn't been, maybe it's because she hasn't been on TV yet, or she wasn't on TV at the time, but I'm curious what Mary's gonna say when she sees Haibara on that, sees Haibara. I'm still curious about that, but they've known the whole time! They've known the whole fucking time! But, motherfucker, you don't mess with the wizard! You don't mess with the wizard! Don't fuck with the wizard! But, man, this chapter was good. But man, I'm telling you, the power of thirst, man, don't underestimate it, but... Again, don't fuck with the wizard! And you know what? Something else I want to happen when we go up against the Black Organization, and we've already seen this motherfucker involved too, with the Black Organization, in a fight against them, and I hope he gonna get involved with them. Is the Kaido Kid. Yes, we need to see Kaido Kid get involved too. He's got to tie into this shit somehow. I need to see it. I want to see Kaido Kid get involved in this shit too. Can you just imagine it? And like, oh god, I just need Kaido Kid involved. Please do it, Gosho. Just do it. For the love of God, I need it to happen. Anyway, very curious what you guys thought of this chapter. And what do you think about that shit? Like, you can't fuck with a wizard. Nuh-uh. You thought you had him, Sarah. You thought you had him. Nope. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about this chapter. And when do you think we're going to get the meetup? When do you think the reunion going to happen, especially with the Kai family? Because it's only just a matter of time. And it says the next chapter is going to be on April 8th. So we're not getting that much of a hiatus this time. So Gosho has something interesting in store for us. But I'm very curious. I kind of hope, you know when I hope we're going to get something? I kind of hope we're going to get, Gosho is going to maybe do this reunion. I'm going to call it right now. I think it's going to happen around chapter 1100. I'm calling it now. Chapter 1100 is when it's going to happen. It's going to happen then. Because remember what happened in chapter 1000? I'm calling it now. Chapter 1100 is when we're going to get the reunion. Either one or two things is going to happen in chapter 1100, or maybe even both. We're going to get the reunion, or I really hope we're not going to wait that long for the rum reveal, identity reveal. But I really am hoping we're going to get the full reunion. We're going to have everyone together, and we're going to start planning the raid against the Black Organization. That's what I hope is going to happen in chapter 1100. I'm calling that now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. If you love what I'm doing and want to help keep this channel alive so I can keep bringing you more Detective Conan greatness, there's a few ways you could do that. You could donate to my PayPal, Patreon, GoFundMe, purchase something on my Amazon wishlist. All that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, from me on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later. Bye.